Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us for Survivor Wednesday here on AfterBuzz TV. We have so much to talk about tonight, a new host, so much going on. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello everybody, it is AfterBuzz Survivor Wednesday, our favorite day of the week.
Of course.
We are here with a new panelist, which we're very, very excited about. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Everybody in the live chat, we love hearing your guys' comments and all of your questions. Keep it up. I'm your host, Paige Bonanno, and my wonderful panelists that are here with me tonight are...
What's up, everybody? I'm Timothy Michael.
Hey guys, it's James Wallington. I'm so excited to be back after a 2-year hiatus. I can't believe it's been that long, but I'm so happy to be back with you.
Yes, so you guys, the newer viewers might not know James, but if you guys have been with us here from the start, you will obviously know who James is. He was the lead host of the Survivor panel a couple years ago, and he had a bunch of stuff going on, you know.
Took a little break.
Yes. But you know, Survivor, it's the true love, so you're back.
I am back, and I'm so excited to be back, and I loved last week's panel, watching you guys and your little, it's like resurrecting a panelist from the past. It's so perfect for Ghost Island, so I'm so happy to be here.
And we're really excited to have you too because for those of you who don't know, James is like a huge Survivor super fan, huge buff. Like, you've watched every season,
every season, every episode, never miss it.
And I feel like this is something that's great because I think we lack a little bit the very far knowledge of Survivor. You even know a little bit more. I mean, I didn't start watching Survivor until like Cambodia. So I didn't watch all those beginning seasons, and I feel like that was something that I really liked when you were on the panel was, you brought all of that old knowledge that really comes in handy, especially with a season like this where we see all those old idols and stuff from the past. So that'll be really, really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the show. Like, you have the old school fans who like love the first few seasons, and then the people that kind of came in the middle of the road, like the middle school fans, and then the new school. So it's just like the show. Like, the game is evolving.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When did you start watching? Because you were like kind of in the middle, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I started watching in the beginning and then I took a hiatus and then I came back at the end. But I'm in awe of anybody who like watches this show from season 1, episode 1, and still remembers all. I mean, this episode they switched tribes and I was like, I don't remember anything anymore.
I'm not kidding. That is James, because he will say stuff and I'm like, how in the hell do you remember that? Because I was sitting there today and I'm like, who's that person? Who's that person? It's so hard in the beginning to know.
Like the blind leading the blind over.
And I feel like that's something too, is like with their Instagrams and stuff. A lot of the times once I start to get to know people, I really creep on their Instagrams and like find out their stories and like look more back on their lives. But at the beginning, I'm like, I don't know these people yet. I can't really do that. But I mean, you've been looking at a lot of people already. So.
I do, and I maybe later on we'll have some juice to spill. We'll see.
Some juice to spill. So anyways, once again, guys, thanks so much for joining us in the live chat, and make sure to give us your comments. So beginning at this episode, the first little thing I wanted to talk about was we had a tribe swap. First thing we did was a tribe swap. And how did you guys feel about that tribe swap right away? Like, I mean, for me personally, I felt like they didn't have enough time to really make so many bonds.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was a little too soon to do a tribe swap. I think I would have liked to have seen maybe Navidi lose a member or two before the swap. Because I do feel like with how it all fell into place, it seemed very stacked for Navidi to do well. But I understand that's part of the game too. Like, you have to kind of like be on your toes. Things are always changing. But my opinion was it was a little too soon.
Well, that's what I love about when they do these tribe swaps early, is because it does keep you on your toes. It keeps the contestants on their toes. It keeps the fans on their toes. I also like the fact that they switch it so early so that the tribes don't bond so heavily to whereas when they're on a new tribe, they're like 5 strong, and then it's so predictable where they just start picking off everybody that was on the other tribe that don't have the numbers.
So you do like when they do it earlier?
I do.
Okay. Because like I just kind of feel like, would you even be worried at this point when you're changing? It's kind of like, I don't know these people that well. It's only been a couple days. I mean, 2 people have been voted off.
But I feel like there's a good balance because if we look at Angela, for example, tonight, she was all like, I am loyal, I'm going to stick to my tribe. So there are people like that on your tribe, but then there are other people that are like, no, you know what, I'm ready to switch a bitch up.
Yeah, and I guess it'll help me, like get to know these people better right away because I have to know their names.
Exactly.
So on the new Navidi tribe, we have Donathan, Libby, Laurel, James, Dom, Chris, Angela, Wendell, and Morgan. If you guys are keeping up with their names. and on Malolo, Stephanie, Jenna, Brendan, Michael, Desiree, Sebastian, Kellen, Bradley, and Chelsea. And we are going to do a draft later today. So you guys get your people ready and see who you would pick.
Ooh.
So, I mean, I guess before we get too far into it, like, what were your just overall thoughts on the episode? I should have said that first.
No, well, here's my thing. I don't know why, for some reason this season, I'm really attracted to the female players. I think there's a lot more stronger female players this season than there are male players. So it's a little disappointing that they're getting picked off one by one here.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I would kind of agree, yes, there are very strong female characters, but my problem is they're not being showcased as much as some of the men. Like, I feel like there's a lot more male airtime than there is female, and there's a lot of characters that stick out to me that are females, but I want to see more. Like, I feel like we're starting to see a little bit more of Jenna. We didn't really see much of her in the premiere.
Yeah.
Who's Chelsea?
Who is Chelsea?
I would love to know who she is and what she brings to the season.
Desiree is another one that I really want to get to know.
I agree.
I don't even know what Desiree looks like.
She's the black girl with the short hair.
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't know what Chelsea looks like then either.
I have no idea what Chelsea looks like.
But yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I feel like we've seen a lot out of Jonathan, James, Chris, Dom, the other guy, Brendan even. And I can't even remember Brendan's name half the time. Michael even.
Yes. It's a very male stacked edit so far.
That's true, yeah. Speaking of Michael, I want to talk about idols a little bit. So first the idol with the Dom situation. So Dom has an idol, but he tells Chris that he has a fake, or he tells Chris that he has an idol, but that it's a fake one.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm still a little confused as to why this is happening. I mean, do you have kind of...
No. I thought Dom told Chris that he had the real... He had an idol. He showed him the fake idol, but he said it was a real idol.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Which I think I kind of... I'm picking up what you're trying to ask is that when I watched that last week, I was very confused as to, okay, yeah, sure, you're showing him a fake idol, but now you're planting a seed in his brain that you have a real idol. And you still do have a real idol, but you're showing him a fake one. To me, that doesn't really weigh out to make a good balance. Like, you're still saying you have an idol.
Right.
And that's going to cause a little bit of questioning with you.
So are you thinking that he would actually play this fake idol at Tribal, like, at some point?
I'm so over people playing fake idols at Tribal. I think it's like the stupidest thing
But people
to do.
don't know most of the time that it's fake.
But you look like an ass because you literally like, oh, I have an idol, and then you go up there and you hand it to Jeff, and Jeff is like, no, this is a fake idol, and then everybody's like, really,
It
dude?
sure is entertaining, though.
I don't think it's entertaining. Like I said in the last episode, I think it's a little overdone, and then playing at the Tribal Council is just annoying to me.
But what are you talking about? Because normally you don't make a fake idol. Like, people find it and then they think it's real.
Right. I'm talking about the person actually
person that
making
actually
it.
made it.
Yes, the
Yeah.
person actually making it, and then has the audacity to go to a tribal council, this
And
sacred
let that person
environment,
play it.
and then actually play it. I'm just like, you know it's fake. What do you do? Like, I get like having that you saying to the tribe that you have one just to kind of throw them off, and then like bragging about it and like, you know, hyping yourself up, and then once you get to tribal, like, does anybody have a hitting idol? And then everybody looks at you and you're like, nope. But actually getting up there and being like, yes, and then having the audacity to make Jeff Probst say that this is a fake idol. I'm just like, really, you guys? Why? It just doesn't make sense to me.
But I guess I'm just still, I mean, you guys are probably going to call me out in the chat and be like, I can't believe you don't get this. But I still don't understand what the point is of saying that you have an idol, it's real, you have it, and then telling somebody you have an idol that's fake. Either way, to them, you have an idol.
Yeah.
And you do, though.
And I will back you on that. It was very confusing because you're still saying you have an idol. Whether you're showing them the fake or the real one, you're still putting a target on your back.
But
Exactly.
It's not proving anything.
But
Exactly.
here's my thing, and I'm going to disagree with you guys because right now, everybody, because Dom has such a big mouth, he told everybody in his tribe that he has this idol, whether it be fake, whether it be real, whether the fake one is real or whatever. I don't really care. What I'm saying is that they could have easily voted for him tonight, and they did not. So where's the target?
That's a good point.
But it's also too soon because if it was that fear that we'll get to it, but James towards the end of the episode was saying he probably still has an idol. It's kind of dangerous not knowing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is some truth into him planting that seed of paranoia.
Yeah.
But to me, it's still like you're still admitting you have an idol.
Also, did he show them the fake idol in the episode, or was that in the preview for
No,
next
he showed
episode?
him the fake idol.
Okay, and then James was saying,
Yes.
yeah, it might be actually real. Oh my gosh. So I mean, I guess then Chris is the one that knows about this idol.
Yes.
And he basically goes around he's the one that tells everybody about it first, before Dom gets a chance to tell it. Is Chris telling it to these people to kind of just basically expose Dom as a liar for not telling them, or more just to put the target on Dom's back to get him out?
I think it could go either way. Yes, you're showing that Dominic can't be trusted, but at the same time, you're showing that Dominic is a player and he's here to play. And that's a very threatening type of player long term. So I think Chris is more thinking long term that Dominic's going to be the bigger threat down the road. So let's plant that seed. Let's put that target on him now so we can slowly make that move on Dominic when the time is right.
I also think we have to look at the whole alpha male situation as well, because Dom and Chris seem to be the most alpha at in the tribe right now, and that always happens time and time, season and season again, where the alpha males always go after each other. So that should just be that.
Well, at this point too, Chris is the only one that now thinks that Dom has a real idol. Everybody else knows that it's a fake idol.
Right.
Except James has some doubt.
Yeah.
But when Chris comes back, he's not going to know that it's actually fake unless somebody tells him.
Well, somebody's going to tell him.
Angela will tell him.
Well, Angela or James will probably tell him, because like we said last episode, the guys on these tribes can never keep their mouths shut.
Which then, in turn, it still makes Dominic look shady.
Right.
Because why would you lie about having a fake idol? It makes me not trust you, period.
Exactly.
And at the same time, it puts an even more target on your back because you were smart enough to make this fake idol while covering for the real one.
But the thing is he didn't need to do that in the first place.
I
What do you
agree.
need to cover for when
Nothing.
nobody even knows that you have anything?
Right.
Oh my God.
I think the best play of a fake idol was when maybe you can help me out here because I don't remember who made it, but then they planted it so that somebody would find it, and then that person thought they actually had a hidden immunity idol.
I think it was
that last year?
You're thinking of Fans
2 years
versus
ago?
a Favorite. It was Fans versus Favorites, the original one it was in Micronesia, and Eliza and Jason had this exchange, and Jason was like, I found an idol, and Eliza's like, this is just a stick, because it was a stick with a face carved in it. She tried to play it at Tribal Council, and it backfired. And Jason really believed that it was a real
But there was
idol.
another
No,
one
there was another
last
one.
year.
But I think that was kind of the
like the
season
beginning.
that set the tone
Okay.
moving forward for these fake idols, and how, there's a little bit of deception that could be of your benefit.
How many years ago was Micronesia?
Oh my gosh, so many years.
You remember these people's names?
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't remember people's names from last season. From yesterday.
But it did happen in Millennials versus Gen X with Jay. The same thing
Thank you.
happened to Jay.
So Jay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There we
Yes.
go. So, speaking of idols, then Steph and Jenna go run and look for idols as well. So we kind of have a free for all because the whole old Malolo tribe goes out and looks for idols together. Michael and Brendan are kind of looking, and what I thought was really cool is Michael found the old idol from
Survivor China.
Survivor China, and when the guy left with 2 idols in his pocket. And what was so cool about that was, like, Michael was saying, 11 years later, here I am. That was the first season of Survivor that I watched, and he was one of my favorite players, and now I'm holding this.
Yeah.
I would have nerded out much more than I think Michael did. Like,
Yeah.
that's so iconic. Like, who doesn't remember that from the Survivor franchise? Like, that was such a stupid move that you went home with 2 idols. Like, I was nerding out for Michael because I don't think he nerded out enough.
Here was my question in that whole thing. So Jenna and Stephanie were looking for an idol, and then Michael and Brendan were also looking for the idol. I thought that they were all looking for it together.
I think
They were.
But it
They
looks
were,
just
but
like the guys found it.
Yeah.
But they didn't go and tell Stephanie.
But
and
he
Jenna
tells
that
them in
they
the
found it.
preview next week.
Well, at the same time, like, why would you go together as a group of 4 when you're going to cover more ground split up? So I think
Right.
I think naturally they ended up going their own ways, but
It
as you
just
saw in
looked
the
a
preview,
little shady because they didn't immediately be like, "Hey guys, we have the idol." No,
Yeah.
it was like, "Oh, the guys found it, and the guys are going to keep it." That's
Right.
just what it looked like to me.
which, like you said, in the preview for next week,
It looks like
that
they tell
will,
them.
we'll see how that kind of transpires.
The thing about that idol was, it was so different than the idols we've been used to seeing in the past couple seasons, since we've been in Fiji for so long.
'Cause
And
it
it
was
was like
huge.
this big block, like wrapped in a package. And it kind of got me thinking as I was watching it, we saw the flashback of going into that big, temple in China. And it's kind of like, ever since I've been watching Survivor, I said it was a little bit of Cambodia and mostly Fiji. And I'm like, we're seeing the same things over and over and over. Like, do you guys miss having those old seasons where they went to Australia and they went to Cambodia and they went here and there and there instead of just being in Fiji every year?
Yeah, because I think, I'm always going to be like an old school OG fan. Like, I love seasons 1 through 10. I own them all on DVD. I'm such a nerd. Because I liked how raw it was in the sense that it felt very survival in the sense that they really did have to battle the elements. Fiji,
Yes.
to me, you're not really seeing a lot of the rain. You're not seeing a lot of the typhoons. You're not getting enough of
No,
the
it's a
survival
vacation
element.
destination.
Right.
Yeah.
Where in the original seasons, like in Australia, there was a flood and they lost their entire camp. Like,
Right.
how could you not remember that? Like, that was like, as a viewer, you're like, oh my gosh, like how are they going to survive this? Like their whole life is just washed away. So I miss that aspect.
Yeah, and you just get to see so many different beautiful aspects of it too, like different. You know, like we saw that big temple in China. Like now we're just going to the same location every time. I want to see these different countries. I feel like that's such a big part of, you know, a show like this that goes out of the country.
No, I agree. I also miss the culture of the locations that the contestants used to, you know, engage with the people of the culture, and like they would win a challenge and then have to go and interact with these people and eat the local food and stuff like that. I miss that aspect. I mean, what are you gonna do in Fiji? Have hamburgers and fries?
Right. Let us know what you guys think. I mean, do you think that they need to leave Fiji? Judy says that they do, like she thinks they do need to leave Fiji. And I mean, I guess, you know, some people really like it and some people think that it's time for a change. And
Thomas McGee, I agree. I am done with Fiji.
I think the consensus is that everybody's done
I
with
mean,
Fiji.
from what I've heard, though, it doesn't seem like they have any plans to leave anytime soon.
I don't think so either. No. I'm pretty sure Jeff Probst is getting old, you guys. I'm pretty sure Jeff Probst is like, I'm tired of battling the elements. Like, let them do it. Let's go to like a vacation.
And he said so many times that they get along with like the Fiji people so well, and they just have this wonderful crew that they have every year. And
I get that. And I'm sure it's expensive to get licenses to all these other different places and stuff like that. I get it. But when, like James says, when you're an old school fan, you're kind of spoiled. You've been spoiled with all of these different locations, and now you're just stuck with one.
Yeah.
Well, and since we're on the topic of like old school, new school, like I think I'm really curious to see how the whole Ghost Island element's going to play out, because it's already too many advantages. And like I'm not like against the advantages, but like if you think of the original seasons, they had nothing. It really was all about the social strategic gameplay. Now it's like, oh, I can literally sit back for a round because I have an idol and then play it when I need to.
That's a great point, because to be honest, I think Ghost Island's been a little boring so far. Like specific Ghost Island, not the season. I'm saying when you go to Ghost Island, because both, I mean, the last 2 episodes was there's no game.
Yeah.
Which I think there should have been.
Why would they have 2 in a row? No game.
Why would they have no games at all? At least make it a game of chance. Like
do something.
Right, with Jacob, where you could either pick one or the other, and if you pick wrong, you don't get anything. Like, at least make it exciting.
Right. And
which they did that in Gabon. Like, they had, like, this little exile island on this lake, and I remember Sugar kept going to it, and it was, like, this or that, and you got to choose if you wanted the advantage or the other thing, and I feel like that's how Ghost Island should be. Yeah. Because, like, otherwise, what's the point of Ghost Island if the last 2 players that have gone there don't really reap the...
just for them to not get voted off, basically.
Yeah. The most exciting thing about Ghost Island was somebody going to Ghost Island. Right. Because Chris went to Ghost Island, and we were like, oh no, everything's
we thought he would go.
So, right. So that's the most exciting thing about Ghost Island.
And it's like, send them on a scavenger hunt or something. Like, let them do something. They're just sitting there by themselves alone and don't get to play a game.
Yep.
Like, let them go do something fun. I don't know, occupy them a little bit. So moving into immunity, I really loved this immunity challenge. I thought it was like really heavy on teamwork.
It was like very parkour.
Yeah, my palms were sweaty when I was watching it.
American Ninja Warrior. I don't know if you guys watched that show, but I'm obsessed with that show. I don't know why I'm obsessed with that show, but I love it.
Oh my god. No, I was seriously getting nervous during this challenge. Like, I don't know why. I just was like sweaty. Yeah.
It was very neck and neck.
It was.
Pretty much the entire time. So it was like, who's going to win?
I mean, I think I was hoping for Malolo to win just because they were complaining so much about their shelter and everything like that. Like, Old Navidi was complaining about New Malolo's like tribe, and their reward was a tarp. So I was like, well, I hope they win the tarp.
Stop complaining.
Actually, I'm really curious to know your thoughts about that. What did you think about? It was, to me, it was pretty much Bradley who was complaining this.
Yes.
But like, it's like what Brendan said, this is Survivor. Like, what did you sign up for? And like,
and also like they were all
spoiled.
watching the sunset beautifully, and then he's like, well, it's cold in this, and your guys' camp is set up bad. And it's like, okay, like you had a nice camp, but like you switch all the time. Like you should know this by now.
Seize every second. This is an experience that you went months of casting for, and now you're going to complain because it's a little too dirty at camp. Like, come on.
I do like how they set up their camp. They had like a little living room. They had hammocks. They had a bedroom.
Navidi has it made.
They did kill it with the camp setup.
They did. And I just feel like because like we were just talking about, when they're just getting spoiled because they're in Fiji this entire time, whereas they're not battling the elements. They're not really, you know, nobody's gotten hurt medically in a while.
The last one I remember is like Joe.
Yeah. And because I don't know.
Or Caleb. Like that was like the same.
You're talking about like medevacs.
Yeah.
So Caleb to me was like the most dramatic one we've seen in a while.
What season was it? Was really, really hot and everybody was hyperventilating, like over
that was
sunstroking out.
The fan favorite one
with Caleb.
Where was that?
Was that Game Changer?
That was Cambodia.
Oh,
that was Cambodia. That's what I mean. Like we have to change up locations, guys.
It was like Cambodia, but not.
And then Joe ate too much meat, and then his stomach got all messed up.
Right. Yeah. So it's like they're so spoiled that like you're literally sitting here complaining about a camp.
Right. In this immunity challenge, I thought Donathan really like kind of stood out a little bit. Like he killed it.
Why? Because he made it over the ramps without falling?
Yeah, James couldn't even do that. James couldn't even do that the first time.
Yeah, James, you're right. James cannot.
Also, I think James should be a little more athletic than he is because he looks like a really athletic guy and he just isn't really
Not really.
showing.
I'm on the same page as you, but I think you're giving a little bit too much credit to Jonathan just because he went last episode and was able to dive underwater.
Well, last week he couldn't do anything, and look at him this week.
Hold on. Yes, I think there's a lot of credit that is due for Donathan. Because like this is such a culture shock experience for him. We've seen already since the beginning of this season that he hasn't gotten out of Kentucky at all. And like this is a huge deal for him. He's a huge fan. So yeah, last episode, seeing him overcome that moment, dive down there and get those balls up from the ocean, like watching him really, he didn't have any issues. He just went for it. And I think to me, that's exciting because there's growth that's being shown. And that's what this show's about.
Right.
And so I applaud and I do give him a little bit of credit.
Granted. And I think the only thing that I like about Jonathan right now is, Donathan, sorry, see now I'm starting to do it, is that he was such a target in the beginning, and this is what I love about Survivor, is that he was such a target in the beginning, then he went to Ghost Island, and then he couldn't be a target, and then he comes back, and this tribal council, he's like not even on anybody's radar.
Hold on. Let me read a quote. A quote. I was going to quote a tweet. I was going to quote a tweet from Donathan tonight that I think made a little bit of sense of why we didn't see much of Donathan.
Okay.
But he quoted Danielle Reyes, who's an iconic Big Brother house guest, season 3. Everyone who loves Big Brother will know her. He said, in the words of the great Danielle Reyes, keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. Right. So I think that's why. You're right. He was a target at the beginning, and now he's taking a step back and letting other people
But
come
I
out.
think if we learned anything from Big Brother and from Survivor, you can't play too strong in the beginning because then you'll be a target. So you have to fly in the middle. You can't be too weak or else you'll be a target.
Right.
So you have to play in the middle. Look at Stephanie Gonzalez of last episode. She got targeted because she was too strong.
Someone in the chat, I don't remember the name, but they brought up a good point. Do you think James is playing down his athleticism to make it seem like he's not as strong?
No.
I feel like there's no way last week because he really messed up last week.
And he thought he was going home. He's like, I'm a target because I
like this
sucked.
week, if he maybe like didn't make it across the first time and then made it across the second, like that could be seen maybe that way. But I don't think last week he really just
I definitely don't think that he's playing down his strengths. I think that he's just messing up and he just I don't know what's going on with him. What I loved about this episode was that in the beginning James was saying that he essentially found out that he was the second target because if Jacob actually had an idol, like a real idol, and he played it, James would have went home.
Yeah.
So it was like the skin of his teeth that he got by.
He really did.
So he needs to step up his game.
Yes.
He can't be like falling on these damn ramp walls and Donathan sitting here like,
Donathan gets over and James can't.
No.
But anyways, I do just think that Donathan showed a lot of progress and I'm proud of him. From last week, he couldn't even get under the water. Okay, I'll be done. I'll be done. But I mean, speaking of Donathan, they said, okay, if you guys, Malolo wins, and then they have to pick one person to send to Ghost Island. They couldn't decide. So half of them, they said, does anybody dissent against Donathan? And who called out? They said,
Stephanie.
Stephanie said, I dissent against that. So why do you think that she didn't want to send him?
She's a smart cookie, and I think it's because, I don't think it's because, I think it's pretty...
No, Stephanie
is a Survivor fan, so she knew what she was doing.
Tribe.
Stephanie was on Malalo, and she said, I dissent to sending Donathan to Ghost Island because Malalo is not, they're in the minority on both tribes. So for her, she's looking out for her other Malalos by saying, if we send one of them, that makes them lose a number even more. Yes. So forcing them to go to Rocks makes it a little bit more fair. And I thought that was really brilliant.
Yeah.
That was great gameplay on Stephanie's part.
I think, and I don't know if it's just coincidence. I don't know how many people believe in coincidence when it comes to television. But for there to be on the now new Malolo tribe, there are 4 old Malolos and 5 Navidis. And then on the new Navidi, there's 5 Malolos and 4 Navidis. Right. So the numbers just matched up. Yeah. So where if you have to pick somebody to go to Ghost Island, you literally can't. You can't. Right. So you have to draw Rocks.
Right. I saw a Survivor, going back to the tribe swap really quick, I saw someone tweeting about how the swap happened. Did Jeff have 2 separate baskets that he went to each tribe with? Because if that's the case, people on Twitter have been saying, well, then it's kind of already stacked. Like, it played out the way that I think maybe production would have wanted.
Right.
Wait, you're talking about what?
Like, Jeff had 2 separate baskets. One basket
of Rocks.
for the buffs at the beginning.
For the buffs.
So that's how the swap played out the way it did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just something, an observation that people have brought. Yeah.
It's just a little too cool.
What are the odds?
Right.
What are the odds of that happening?
Huh. So Chris goes to Ghost Island. Lucky as hell for him because he was for sure. At the beginning of the episode, I was like, he's out. He's out. Go home. But so he goes, and I do like, you know, I love those moments when we kind of get to see a little bit more about their story rather than just, you know, he was such a like tough guy and like telling people orders all day, and then we kind of get to see, you know, the softer side of him.
Yeah, I love to. What?
He doesn't like it.
You say softer, I say starts with a P, but I don't want to say it. Like it's day 8, you guys. Like, come on.
But
no, but
still.
here's yes, it's day 8, but I don't think he was complaining about the elements and the.
He was just missing.
When you're by yourself in a situation like this, with no one to socialize, your brain's going to start thinking about the people at home, what you're missing out on, especially if you have a mother who's sick. You're obviously going to want to think about her and all that downtime. So I don't think it was the P word, but I do think it was a moment of vulnerability of him just reflecting on his mom is his strength. His mom is the ultimate survivor. She was given 2 months to live, and here she is still living this day.
Well, he's also on the island. He doesn't know what's happening with her.
Exactly.
Something could be happening with her.
So he's drawing from her strength to endure the game.
I mean, also, does anybody know what time of day this is? I'm assuming that they play the immunity challenge at really early in the morning, probably like 10 a.m. So it's probably, what, 11:30, noon at this point? What is he going to do all day?
He's literally on Ghost Island for like 12 hours, you guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Exile
What are you doing?
Island,
Doing
where they were
push-ups
there
and
for like
shit?
2-3 days? Like, you're there for 12 hours and you can't hold your down?
No, all I'm saying is, like, what are you planning on doing this whole time?
I don't care.
I
don't
would
cry
find
about
ways to
it.
entertain
like,
myself.
swim, hike, like,
Swim, hike,
play in the sand.
make fake idols. I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, that's why they all go so crazy over there. Like, that's why, what's his name that got voted out the first episode? Jacob was being such a weirdo.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, well, I don't have anything else to do. Let me just make an idol.
Well, Jonathan seemed to be fine on Ghost Island.
We didn't see a lot of Jonathan
Probably
on
because
Ghost
Ghost Island is just like Kentucky. Sorry, everybody from Kentucky.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
So, moving into pre-tribal, the only thing that was, you know, really significant about this to me was how Angela was basically so stressed and she was like, I'm willing to go to rocks for old Navidi, which to me, I was just kind of like, you're willing to like risk that much at this point in the game for old Navidi that you were with for a couple days.
And she kind of explained that her mentality or her upbringing as a veteran, she kind of trusts and had to rely on a team of people. So
In
I think,
a short amount of time.
Yes. So I think for her, she kind of resorted back to that frame of mind, which I don't think really works for Survivor.
Right.
You have to be adaptable.
Yes.
Which I think she will learn after tonight's episode. Moving forward, at least you could hope.
I'm going to disagree with you. I liked Angela's loyalty aspect because I think that's going to turn a lot of people on. I feel like in a game filled with such lies, the person that you want to talk to is the person who is going to be loyal.
Yeah.
I think that point in case when Dom is sitting here going, you know, well, I'm ready to switch and get out Chris, and you're like, well, whoa, hold on a second, like let's just take a second. I think it puts a bad taste in your mouth when you aren't loyal in the beginning.
But I commend her for being loyal. But when you are loyal, you have to be loyal to the right people.
You can't be loyal
she
to a
was
fault
loyal
like
to
that.
people who weren't loyal to her, and that's all I'm saying. Moving forward, she's going to now realize who she can really put her loyalty into. It's a wake up call.
Yeah. I mean, even Wendell was like, I'm not drawing rocks for her. You know, like she tried to kind of confide that she wanted to do this and basically.
Why did Wendell then go turn the attention on voting out? I get Angela was Chris's right-hand woman, but I didn't get that vibe at all this episode.
I didn't get that vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
At all?
I'm
with
saying
Angela and Chris.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't know that she was
clearly
his
was like,
right-hand
I don't
woman.
trust Chris, but maybe perception is reality out there. So maybe what Wendell was seeing is obviously different from what us as the viewer are seeing.
I think they're also because Wendell, Angela, and Chris were on Old Navidi together, so I think that's where that whole like stipulation started. Maybe they're saying things that cameras didn't show, where Chris and Angela had like this bonding experience on Old
yeah,
Navidi.
it must have been. But I mean, with Angela at Tribal too, something that was interesting was like she was the only one that called out. She's like, you know, I kind of went and talked to different people. Like, do I go with a popular decision or do I go with what's right for me? Saying that she felt a lot of pressure from Chris, and everybody's kind of like, Chris isn't here.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what kind of pressure she was really feeling from him.
Unless she was putting pressure on herself. But she also said before he left, he said,
Stick with the plan.
Stick with the plan.
Yeah.
Don't change
Famous
it.
last words in Survivor. Stick with the plan. It never happens.
So they wanted to go with Dominic, yeah.
Yes.
Angela and Chris wanted to go with Dominic, and who would have been their fourth?
Who knows? Because Chris went to Ghost
Because Chris went to Ghost Island.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So quickly, who had the votes? Morgan got sent home, obviously, with Libby, Donathan, Laurel, and James.
Yes.
So Libby was the one that flopped at the end.
Let's talk about how savage this whole situation played out.
But before we get into Tribal Council, I just have to say a little word from our sponsors.
Okay, yes.
So if you guys want to have fun, you want to learn and grow in all areas of your life, for those who do, we've got a podcast for you. Now, Conversations with Maria Menounos, it's a podcast edition, is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos, and it drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career and relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister that you've never had. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Everybody loves free. And be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that her own AfterBuzzers sent you to her.
Aww.
Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. Check it out, guys.
Do it for real. Maria's great. And,
she's great. She's got a great podcast.
Yeah, it's a really good podcast.
And she's really sweet, you guys. Those of you who do know her personally, she's so sweet. Her and her family are great. And they give us this opportunity to be here and talk to you guys. So check it out. Now let's go to Tribal Council.
So please talk about how savage this
Savage
situation
play-by-play. So they're going to Tribal. Morgan thinks she has Libby. They bonded over this Catholic connection, which I loved for a minute. I was like, Libby's so cute. She's so sweet. So the hashtag Catholic
you fell
connection. No, I didn't fall for it. But I
did.
think it was good for Libby to kind of play the field. I think they both were kind of feeling each other out. So then, fast forward, they lose. So James then pulls Libby aside and says, I think Dominic's playing us. I think the fake idol is clearly masking the fact that he's a real one. Libby's like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then James is like, I think we should vote out Dominic's right-hand woman, Morgan. And she was kind of on the fence if that was going to be a good move for her or not.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so happy she made the move she did. And the best part is at the storyline of Tribal Council when Morgan had her little thing about like, no, you know who you're loyal to. And then Jeff calls out Libby about, about lying and
Libby
loyalty.
says, why are you calling me out?
Exactly. And then Morgan chimes in and goes, yeah, Libby's adorable. Who wouldn't want to trust her? She's cute. She's got a great smile. She is just here. She's charming, whatever. And then Libby votes Morgan out. And then the best part was the one-liner that Morgan delivered at the end when she goes, don't trust the cute blonde.
Oh. Boom.
It made Libby be more of a standout to me as a player, and I'm really excited to see where she goes from here.
I feel like pulling something like that off like this early in the game and being so subtle about it can really help her out as we move forward.
Right, but let's also remember that it wasn't Libby's idea to vote Morgan out. Like, if this was Libby's idea to vote Morgan out...
But she didn't have to flop.
No. But at the same time, like, I would give her even more credit. I don't know why I'm being so hard on players today, but I am. I feel like if she had, like, this whole idea from the beginning and did this whole, like, with Morgan, oh, yeah, we're Catholic schoolgirls, we're going to bond, and then still went...
And then was like, hey, everybody, this is what we're doing.
Right. That would have given me more credit for her, but she did stick to...
See, I kind of like it the more subtle way, like, where you kind of are like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this because it's better for my gameplay, instead of standing out that way.
Yeah, 100%, because she weighed out the options in her head. She's like, she even said in one of her little interviews, this is a really big moment to really see where, moving forward, where things are going to lie. And she chose to stick with the original Malala, which I thought was the smartest move for her game. Like, she was thinking about herself.
Yeah, but then at the same time, when you get to the end, say she does get to the end, when you're building up that resume, doesn't it sound more powerful to be like, oh, I had the idea to vote Morgan out, and I was the one that got all these votes together to do it, rather than saying, Libby I just stuck with the vote.
She was the deciding vote.
Yeah.
And to me, that's also a little bit more powerful because she was like, you needed me. And I gave you what she wanted. I helped execute your plan because I'm the one that decided to vote her out.
So
it's kind of like whatever the jury really thinks is better.
Right. Was I the only one who thought that Morgan had a crush on Libby?
Yeah, no. they're a little body.
I don't know. I got a little lesbian crush there.
Little vibe.
Which I'm all about. I'm all about it. I was like, okay, Morgan, if this is what the case, I was all about it. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Let us know what you guys think. But wait, who was Angela talking to during this situation? Because she's the only one that voted for Libby.
Well, because the last thing she heard was she was going to stick with Navidi, and they said Libby. That's what Wendell and her discussed. So she was staying loyal to what she
Why
thought
did they?
Navidi was
Okay,
gonna do.
okay. Because
Yes.
and then they were blindsiding her basically.
Yes.
God.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's a wake-up call for Angela to be like, oh, wow, I was willing to be 100% loyal to Navidi, and clearly
what
they
they
were
did.
going to vote for me.
Yes.
So now I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot because
I mean, Angela was
powerful.
really damn close to going home.
Yeah.
So
Which, if she would went home, I would have been really upset because I actually really like her.
Yeah.
I liked Morgan a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a really great vibe from Angela this.
I liked
got-
Morgan too until she gave her legacy advantage to Dom.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I get why you did, but as a viewer, I'm angry because Dominic, if he turns out to be like a new Ben or a new Tony, I'm gonna be bored.
Right.
So
oh,
you-
okay.
offense.
So
you
you
don't
didn't like
like
Tony
Dom.
either.
I don't like that prototype player.
I don't
I'm
either.
sorry. It's boring. It's predictable.
Yeah.
Ben last season was so predictable. Like, it was so predictable he was going to win, and it was frustrating as a viewer.
Did you want
I wanted Chrissy to win.
Chrissy to
And I-
win.
and to be
Everybody
honest,
wanted-
I
didn't-
wanted Ben to
I
win.
wanted Chrissy.
I didn't
Oh,
really
that's
care
right, we
for
did.
Chrissy,
Yeah.
but
I
I
didn't
wanted
care for
her
Chrissy.
to beat Ben
You know
because
what?
I didn't want Ben to win.
Yeah, at the end she did really. I mean, she had a great run, a great story. You know, I had always wanted Ben to win, and I didn't care for Chrissy. But at the end, I was kind of conflicted a little bit
Yeah.
because I mean they were both good players.
No,
but,
I was still all about Chrissy.
yeah. Did you want to? Were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay, so. We don't have a ton of time left, so before we get into predictions, I want to get into our fantasy draft.
Woo!
Let us know what you guys are thinking, and we're just gonna go right into
Okay,
it.
well, before we get into it,
Yes.
last season we did it wrong.
How do we do it
So
wrong?
you go first,
Okay.
and then I go, James goes. Then I go first, James goes, you go. Then James goes first, you go,
Okay,
I go.
I like that.
All right.
That seems fair.
So I go first. I'm
Yes.
scared.
Hold on, I'll write this down because I'll make a graphic for us.
Oh.
Oh
Today,
yeah.
I'm all about visual aids.
See,
so.
this is why we have James on the panel.
So yeah, there'll be 2 wild cards eventually because there's 17 of us total. So
Okay,
Oh.
so how many people do we get each?
we'll each get 5 with
Okay.
2 wild cards,
Okay.
and we can figure out the logistics of the wild cards.
Rock,
we can either
paper,
trade them
scissors.
out, or if your player
Or
gets
trade
voted
them out,
out,
that's a good
you
idea.
pick one of the wild cards.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We'll see.
Oh, I like it. See, James has got a game already. All right, but let's go.
All right, I'm gonna pick Kellen.
Okay.
She was one of my top.
Okay. I'm gonna pick Stephanie.
Oh my gosh, I am. Well, keeping with the female theme, I'm gonna pick Libby.
I was gonna pick her next.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay, so I go.
So wait, sorry, who did you pick first?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Desiree.
Dang it. She's queen.
Yep.
Queen.
I'm going to pick. In the past, I don't find myself rooting for this type of player, but for some reason, I'm digging him because he made a comment about Banana Laffy Taffy tonight, and I feel like I'm the only one who likes Banana Laffy Taffy. So I'm gonna pick Sebastian.
Okay.
so you don't
because-
normally like that
Like
kind
the
of
J,
like
the Joe, the
yeah.
But
Okay.
something about Sebastian's endearing, and you like Banana Laffy Taffy. So hey, I'm gonna pick you for my team.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with Wendell.
Dang, that would have been my next choice.
Okay. All right, James, you go first.
Wow.
You too?
I just went.
Okay.
You know, I'm picking this purely based on I love this kid, and I really love how he represents the LGBT community. So I'm gonna pick Jonathan. Do I think he can win? I think it's a long road for him because he's too likable that I
I
just
was gonna
can't
pick
see
him
him at
next.
the end.
I think
so I'm
that
gonna
he
pick
could
Jonathan.
I was
maybe-
gonna pick him too. So
Okay, great.
you had somebody who
Boom.
understood.
Stole him.
There you go.
I think he could make it kind of far. I'm gonna go with Angela.
Damn it, that was my next one.
Good choice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go with. Gosh, I'm gonna go with Michael.
Okay.
Slim pickings, y'all.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, you go
Oh,
first.
me?
Yeah.
I'm between Jenna and Chelsea, but I literally don't know who Chelsea is. But because
But is that a good thing?
because I don't know who she is,
True.
maybe I'm like she might really show her. But
Her
I don't know
story
who
might evolve.
I don't know who Jenna is either. Really,
Okay.
what does Chelsea look like? Is she blonde?
She's the NFL cheerleader.
And what is Jenna? I just don't know.
She's like an assistant, I think.
Is she the marketing specialist?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jenna.
Okay.
Might have been a mistake. I'm stressed. I can mess up.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Chelsea. Yeah.
Great.
If she fucking wins, sorry, excuse my friend. If she wins, I'm gonna be really mad.
Okay, so it looks like we have Bradley, Brendan, Laurel. Who else? Chris.
Dom and Chris and James.
And Dom and James. Oh, Lord, y'all. I definitely don't want Dom or Chris. Let me just put it that way. I'm gonna pick Laurel.
Okay.
Me?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with James.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dom.
Dang it.
Did you just say you didn't want it?
Wait,
you were actually gonna
Wait,
get
aren't
it?
2 people supposed to be wild cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have
So
Chris
I have my 5.
and Brendan. Chris and Brendan are left.
So I'm gonna pick Bradley. The one
Wait,
that complained.
how many do you have? Oh, you have 4.
I have 4. I'm gonna pick
Okay.
Bradley. So now you
The one
round us
that
up.
complains.
Yeah.
So we got Brendan and Chris as wild cards.
Well, you get one more.
No, I have
Brendan.
5.
Who did you? Who was the last person?
I have James, Angela, Wendell,
Oh, yeah.
Jenna, and Kellen. Which
Bam.
I'm really stressed about the Jenna situation versus.
So Chris and who? Brendan.
See?
Yeah.
are
Who
the
is
wild.
Chelsea? Who is Jenna?
I was gonna pick Jenna, so I think you did
You
a
were?
good choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope Jenna gets voted out next episode, so
Oh,
I can say
man.
that I picked Chelsea,
I'm-
and I don't know who she is either.
I'm pretty confident in my first 3: Angela, Wendell, and Kellen.
Yes, I'm a little jealous that you got Angela.
I'm
but-
kind of jealous you got Wendell.
I said last week, Jeff Probst says that he thinks Wendell's going to win, although Jeff's never right about it. But he said this might be the year of reversing the curse, and maybe he'll be right this time.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a recap of who we have?
Yeah, so Paige has Kellen, Wendell, Angela, Jenna, and James. You have Stephanie, Desiree, Michael, Chelsea, and Dom. And then I have Libby, Sebastian, Donathan, Laurel, and Bradley.
All right.
And then our wild cards are
Wild cards are Chris and Brendan.
okay.
Sweet. I know you guys will keep track of this for us as we go along, which you always do. So let's just, before we wrap up, let's get into predictions for next week.
Okay. I love predictions.
Here we go.
Now,
Let us know what you guys
your
think
AfterBuzz TV.
in the chat, what you think for next week. I mean, so we saw a little bit about the idol.
Yes.
What?
Okay.
Well,
Well,
what else was in the preview? There wasn't too much.
Well, we saw Dom and Laurel sitting down on the beach together,
Right.
which I think
Dom
would
and
be a
Laurel, okay.
really interesting duo because
Okay.
it just seems very. I would like to see where that kind of develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Laurel as a player at all yet. I feel like I don't really know if she's like
Maybe she'll
the
surprise
the
us.
type of person that's gonna really go for it, or the type of person that kind of sits back and takes direction. I'm not really sure.
Laurel?
Yeah.
I think Laurel is definitely the sit back
She's-
direction.
But
Really?
I also think she's smart because in the first episode, she's like, Donathan's the type of player you want to kind of scoop up and like use as a vote. And
Yeah.
I want to see their kind of relationship evolve too.
I think something's gonna happen with Dom's idol next week because I mean we keep hearing about him like telling all these people or a fake or a real one. Like I feel like he's gonna have to play something next week.
Yeah.
I
You
agree with
know?
you. Yeah.
I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
I guess we'll see.
Any other?
I predict that there might be a showmance this season. I'm just going to call it how I see it.
I wanted there to
do
be a
you wanna
showmance between
say-
Morgan and
I
Why
don't
do
want
you
to say
think?
who
Yeah, okay.
exactly, but you know, before the season started, I follow Inside Survivor. I love reading about like the predictions of who the cast is going to be for the upcoming season, and I start following them a few of them on social media, and 2 of them, you know, were hanging out together before the show premiered, and they hung out together for the actual premiere, and then one of their Twitter bios says, I'm in love with a mermaid. And one of the other players' Twitter handles has the word mermaid in it. So I wonder if that's subliminal. And I would like to see if maybe these 2 evolve into a relationship post-Survivor.
Ooh, I'm excited.
That's so fun.
Yeah, just observations. That's why I don't say names yet because I would like to maybe build my case first.
Yeah, build it a little bit. See what people think. See if we find anything else about it. That's great. If you guys find anything cool about Survivor that we might not know too, throw it out there.
Yeah,
We'd love
definitely.
to hear.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we sign off for the night?
I'm
James,
just
so good
so
to be here.
excited to be here, you
I'm
guys.
so excited.
excited.
I
Yes,
am
we're
really
both excited
excited for
here.
this season. I feel like it's going to be really good. And I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Great.
It's gonna
We're
be fun.
so excited. It'll be a great season. Thank you guys for joining us. And where can they find you guys?
I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike.
And I'm on Twitter at James Wallington and on Instagram at Where's Wallington.
And I am Paige Bonanno. You guys can find me on all social media at Paige Bonanno. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you
you
later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.